Olivia stabs Sid, but he grabs her and bites her neck, ripping it and defeating her. Nelson wonders how is Sid still alive after being stabbed, and Sid explains that if you protect your vital organs and arteries, it's easy to survive a stabbing. Nelson explains he is surprised to see Olivia getting defeated by a kid with no magic, but states she was just a copy. With the amount of magic he has in the center of the sanctuary, he summons countless copies of Olivia. Several attack Sid, but he opens his right eye and defeats them using his magic. Nelson is surprised he is able to use magic. Sid explains that he just tempered with the magic until it was too solid to be absorbed. It took him some time, but it's something simple. Nelson can't believe that's possible and orders the Olivia copies to kill him. Sid fights them, but as his wound continues to bleed, he notes the playtime is over. However, Sid is unaffected and finishes his spell. Aurora is surprised by the amount of magic he has. The explosion obliterates all Olivia's, along with the chain door and everything else. Sid wakes up with Aurora by his side. She is surprised that he survived being stabbed in the heart, and Sid explains that he used magic to move his heart to the other side. Aurora starts disappearing and confesses that she was the one that called him there. She notes she lied for other things as well, but Sid is fine with it. Aurora states that for a long time she wanted to fade away and forget everything, but now has a memory she doesn't want to forget and thanks Sid. Before completely disappearing, Aurora tells Sid what to do if he ever met the real her. Alexia feels frustrated being weak and unable to do anything. She wants to start an organization with Rose and Beta and look up for information and decide what to do. Beta states that they have no precise plan, but both Rose and Beta agree to form a team. Epsilon reports to Alpha that the sanctuary has been obliterated, the holy sword vaporized along with the magical core. Alpha notes that was the simplest and the most effective solution and congratulates Shadow. Epsilon also reveals that Beta is working with Alexia and may infiltrate her inner circle. Epsilon also confirms their theory that Aurora has another name, the Demon Diablos. A man tries to convince Gamma to buy a prime property in Madlid and open her shopping center there. Gamma isn't sure at first, but as one of her employees tells her that they found petroleum, Gamma decides to buy every property in that street and explains she wants to redevelop the city and make it the greatest city in Velgalta. Alpha recalls an earlier time with Sid, when they made their base of operation. She explains they need to start training the girls as they will be facing the cult and need to enhance their individual strength. Alexia explains to Iris that the Archbishop was part of the cult. To be able to keep the sanctuary a secret, they need some big organization, and Alexia wants to investigate the divine teaching. Iris had suggested the same thing to their father, but he told them to not do anything. However, Iris feels that if she wins the Bushin Festival again, she will have more backing and support of the people, and their father will have to listen to her. Alexia wonders if the cult or Shadow Garden won't get involved, but Iris is sure of her sword skills. Iris wonders why Alexia went into the sanctuary. Alexia then acts a bit dumb and excuses himself and leaves. Iris notes to herself that her Crimson Knights lost their strongest members and probably won't be able to rebuild them. The Night Order was supporting her, but she guesses they hate her as she took their strongest members and let them die. Rose is training. However, she feels strange and demonic possession appears on her chest. The Bunchin Festival is starting and strong warriors all over the world start gathering. Seeing them, Sid wants to also enter the tournament to act weak and all, but defeat its opponents and shocks everyone how strong he is. Sid visits Gamma and asks her to help him with a disguise and enter the Bunchin Festival. Gamma wonders why, but Sid states he can't tell her. Gamma uses a special slime gel that will help him conceal his face and shape it how they want. She shows him pictures of how he wants to look, and Sid notes he wants to look weak. Gamma then suggests Mundane Man, a lazy dark knight with no skill. He was disowned by his noble family and died 5 years ago an unremarkable and unremarked death. Sid agrees and Gamma turns him into Mundane. Sid then changes his posture to look like his new character. Anaros, who managed to summon an ancient warrior at the goddess trial, sees Sid in his mundane character. Looking at his cheap gear and sickly body, she states he is an amateur and warns him to not participate in the Bunchin Festival. Sid tells her to not judge a book by its cover and that he doesn't need her help. He walks away smiling that his disguise works. He is immediately stopped by Quentin, who tells him he needs to take her advice. Quentin explains he fought several times at Bunchin festivals. In each there are weaklings like Sid, so it's better if he just go home. Sid states that he is at least stronger than Quentin. That angers Quentin, who picks up Sid and punches him into an alley. Sid still states he is weak, angering more Quentin. Sid notes there are several moves he can do right now and defeat Quentin, but he has no intention of fighting yet and leaves Quentin to beat him up. Anaros eventually stops Quentin. She apologizes to Sid and while she could have stopped the fight at any moment, she decided to let Quentin beat him up so that Sid quits and don't get injured more at the festival. Sid leaves, which surprises Anna Rose that he isn't hurt. She introduces herself and asks Sid about his name, and Sid reveals it's Mundane Man. Sid meets with Skel Etoll, who wants to make bets and win some money on the tournament. He explains that the tournament will start with prelims and only the strongest will proceed to the main tournament. He also tells him who are the favorites. As Sid wants to show his powers only at the end, he wonders on how to defeat the stronger opponents without revealing his powers. As he leaves, he meets Rose, who explains she got friends with Alexia and Nassim Kafka. She also reveals that she is going to meet her father and he will be introducing her to her fiancé Perv Ashat. Rose explains that she is a princess from a land of art and culture, but she disappointed and betrayed a lot of people when she decided to become a knight. When she was young, she met a hero and was inspired by him to pick up the sword. She still refuses to abandon her ideals, and that may cause her to betray more people. She asks Sid if he will keep believing in her, and Sid confirms it. Sid and Skel are watching fight. Skel explains that he is gathering data so that he can make better bets. He continues to explain how he can calculate the odds for better bets, but he will need some money to make the odds 100%. Sid ignores him. Goldo Kinmeki shows behind Skel, stating he finds that fascinating. Skel recognizes him and gets excited. Goldo explains he also tabulates data as it helps him win. Next match is Gonzalez Machombru versus Mundane Man. Sid states he needs to take a dump and leaves. Goldo decides to analyze the fight and explains you can get general idea of the fighter's strength before the fight. Gonzalez has a glint in his eyes and arrogant smile, which means he is a tough fighter with a lot of experience. His battle powers is 1364. On the other hand, Mundane Man is astoundingly inept, and Goldo wonders how he made it to the third round. With his weak face, build, and aura, his battle power is 33. Goldo expects Gonzalez to win in less than a second. Skel is impressed with the analyze. A second after the fight starts, Gonzalez falls down. People assume that Gonzalez tripped and fell, and Mundane is announced as winner, which disappoints the crowd. Anna Rose, however, saw how Mundane landed 2 quick punches on the chin. Goldo acts like he also knew this could happen and Mundane to win. He tells Skel that you can win by betting on those with higher battle power or find the weak ones and bet on their opponents. As Goldo leaves, Sid returns and Skel asks him to give all of his money so that he can bet on Goldo, but Sid refuses. Early in the morning, Skel knocks on Sid's door and shows him the newspaper stating that Rose stabbed her fiancé Perv Ashat and ran away.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell so as not to miss new videos. Bye everyone.